Hey guys, so this is not another Nikocado video. No, we're going to talk about the other side of the spectrum. Now, disclaimer, if you're triggered by these certain images, this is not for you. Talking about eating disorders, if you're triggered by that, this is not for you. And this is not an attack on this person directly. But people need to understand there's a spectrum. There's two sides of the spectrum. Here we have Nikocado, who is on one side of the spectrum, gluttonous, overindulgent. And I've said, it's human nature. There's nothing wrong with being indulgent. If you want to eat food like this, that's fine, but you need to have some sort of balance. You need to have a healthy lifestyle. If you're going to eat all of this, you need to be able to go out and work out afterwards to burn it off, which he clearly doesn't. He's over gluttonous, he's overly indulgent, and that's the one side of the spectrum where he's gaining weight. Now, then we have, like I said in the last video, like people like Eugenia Cooney, who are the complete other side of the spectrum. Now again, if this stuff triggers you, if this stuff upsets you, this is not the video for you. But here we have Eugenia Cooney. This is the other side of the spectrum. This is complete opposite, as you can see. Whereas Nick is large and very big. She is essentially a walking skeleton at this point. Now, also, keep in mind, and people have kind of theorized about this, notice how she stands in every single one of her pictures. You notice that you never see her standing up straight. People are thinking she does this because she can't stand up straight anymore. She needs to have, think of like bridges and stuff, how like the triangle is like the perfect support. Triangle. You can see how it's very triangular. How this might be her body's way of supporting itself instead of standing up straight. She kind of has to, do this in order to stand up. Because if you can see her, you see her legs. They're essentially a little bit, it's nothing but bone, maybe a little bit of muscle, but that's not nearly enough to keep up. And she does this in every single, see, bent, spread, bent, spread, bent, spread. Every single picture, she stands the same way. Because at this point her body can't handle, or at least that's the working theory here, that her body just can't handle supporting itself anymore. Because you got to remember, despite her being thin, there's still a lot of weight up here that the body has to support. You can see her ribs very clearly right down here. You can see very well, the bones in her hands. And I've been following her for quite some time, for years at this point. I'm not, this is a person I'm not unfamiliar with. For years, I've, checked in and all that. And there was at one point where she looked like she was getting the help. She looked like she was gaining weight. She put some weight on and she looked good. I was like, oh, okay. I'm really happy for her that she's going through this and getting to a healthier weight. I mean, it was nothing insane. It's not like it was full, but you could clearly tell that there was a huge transformation. Her face definitely had more weight to it. Her arms looked a bit bigger. And everyone was happy. It's like, wow, it looks like she's actually changed and she's going to be getting to a healthier weight. No, we're right back to being skin and bones. Now, another thing with her you have to notice is the only time you'll see an up close picture like this is when she's doing like that stuff, like makeup. Other than that, whenever she does videos or something like that, you're always going to see all of it. Why? Because despite the fact that people are constantly bashing on her, saying, hey, you need to help yourself, this gets her attention. She wants people to see her body. I don't know why. It's clearly not positive attention. But in her videos, unless she is doing makeup, which is kind of hard to explain how you're doing it, and the viewer, it's kind of hard to see what they're doing properly if they're, sitting all the way back here or far away. That's why you kind of have to get up and you're like, oh yeah, no. Unless she's doing that, you're always going to see her entire body. She wants people to look at her body for whatever reason. Now, some of you might understand a little more if you can give an actual reason why. When she knows people are just going to tell her how unhealthy she is and she needs help. I mean, like we said before, no press is bad press. She's still getting the attention regardless. Maybe that's what she wants. But she is that other side of the spectrum here. She doesn't eat. And if she does, she, back out. The people around her, her family, her mom seems to just whatever. In fact, most people say she's like this probably because her mom doesn't do shit. So, but she is the other side, the extremely thin side. Now, people try not to talk about her too much because she has an actual eating disorder or something. But she's gotten help once. And she was doing good for a while. Which means she has no problem getting help. But I think at this point, it's just like Nick. She doesn't want help. People are thinking that maybe she's just pretty much surviving on like nutrition shakes and stuff like that, where she's not eating, she just drink. I mean, that's what those things are kind of for those people who, most of the time they're for people who just can't eat, a whole lot. So they have all that nutrition and, those dietary supplements essentially in a nice little convenient, open, boom, 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 done. For people who may not have time or, stuff like that. So people are thinking maybe she's essentially surviving on that. If she is eating, she's but it's to the point where, same thing, she's not that old. I think she's like 26, 27. Same thing. I do not want to wake up one day, turn on my computer, come online, just and then see a freaking thing about saying YouTuber and personality Eugenia Cooney dead at whatever age because of malnutrition. I don't want to see it. But just like Nick, it's essentially a lost cause. The only thing I can do is bring attention to it so that people don't end up like this, especially young girls. I've said before when I've talked about her, I've had someone reach out to me and say, hey, yeah, when I was younger, I used to look up to her and I started that lifestyle, but I got sick and I didn't like the way it felt. So I went back to eating normal and I got myself back up to a regular weight. This is not a lifestyle that you should be going after. It's not. If you think this is the ideal lifestyle, and if you think it's like the pinnacle of beauty, no. No, most people are surprised she still has her fucking hair. And others are like, oh, they're extensions, but she's pulled several times, and it's her hair. But it comes with a whole bunch of side effects. Apparently she shit herself on camera or something. or not shit herself, but shows she has to wear diapers or something like that because the nutrition is so bad that her body, her bowels are so messed up. And when she got all upset, she got upset about it. It's like, oh, I don't have to wear diapers and this and that. But it wouldn't be surprising. It wouldn't be surprising if she's not getting the nutrition she needs. Her body is just all messed up. And like I said, notice how everything I showed, she stands the same way. She doesn't stand up straight, because at this point, it looks like she can't. It looks like she just cannot stand up straight. When it's walking, that's different because your body, gravity and weight distribution is, back and forth. It's not having to focus all in one point. But when you're standing, that's, it's not being distributed anywhere else. It's just there. So having your legs in this kind of formation, like I said, the whole triangle, think of bridges or something like that, how stability, that's why she has to stand like that, because she can't stand up straight. And when you're getting to the point where you're not able to stand up straight because your legs are no longer able to take care of the upper half of you, and yet, just like Nick, she doesn't care. She doesn't care. Hang on, let me see how old she actually. I think she's like 27, but let me just make sure. Yeah, I just looked it up. She is 27. So, if she keeps this up, she may not live to see 30, and that would really be a shame. I've actually reached out to her, see if I could become a friend, see, maybe try to help, but obviously she never replied. So, all I can do is just kind of make videos. But it's the same thing with Nick. If I can prevent people from turning to this lifestyle, just because some people for some reason have success being this way, doesn't mean it's for everyone. And preferably when you look like this, for no one. This is not the lifestyle you should be going after, of starving yourself and not eating and becoming a walking corpse. That's not a lifestyle you should go after. No matter what people can, you may find 2 or 3 comments that are like, oh, Eugenia, you're so beautiful. But out of the hundreds and hundreds of comments that she gets, if there's only 3 like that, clearly people have a problem with it. And it's not something that people, others like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. They're not all saying that. It's only a very select few. This is not something you should aspire to be. This is not something you should go after. This is not something that's going to make you famous. This is not something that'll make you happy. You're just going to make yourself sick. You're just going to make yourself sick. And who knows? People are surprised she's survived this long. If someone looks at this and tries it, they could end up dying sooner than that. So, if you value your life, if you're young, and it doesn't have to be young females, just young people in general, see her and see all the attention she's getting, and it's like, oh, I can do that. Just don't. Have respect for yourself. She clearly doesn't respect herself anymore. She clearly doesn't care about herself anymore. Now people think this, especially this one, she's in the cemetery. It's so peaceful here. People were like, oh yeah, she's just accepted her fate here. I mean, there's time, when they're about to die, they know they're about to die. I don't think this is the case. She's obviously just for attention. But if she doesn't stop, this is going to be her destination. This is where she's going to end up. She's not going to have a long life. She's going to die young, and it's going to be an awful shame. I know eating disorders are hard to overcome. I get that. But with more than enough people around her supporting her, or you think supporting, it's like I said, her mom clearly doesn't give a shit. Um, she's gotten help once before. Unlike Nick, at least that's happened. She's gotten help before, so we can only hope that she gets help again. But at this point, it seems like it is a Nick kind of situation where it's a lost cause. But I can only make these videos and hope that people don't end up like this. You don't want to be Nick. You don't want to be Eugenia. You just stay in the middle. Just the middle is safe. You know, if sometimes you end up on one side or the other. You know, so sometimes you might end up on the Nick side. Sometimes you might end up on her side, and sometimes it's, you know, you can't help it. Sometimes you're just born super thin, but not like this kind of super thin. Sometimes you're like me, where you've always been big. So it's, but just try as hard as you can to just stay in the middle. You know, don't be over gluttonous, and don't be self-destructive in the sense where you're just not eating at all. Your body will thank you when you get to live a long life without problems. You know, her kidneys, her liver, her lungs, her heart, they're probably shot at this point. They're probably really bad. Not hospital bad yet, but they're getting there. But Eugenia Cooney, the other side of the spectrum. Again, this is not an attack on her personally. Just pointing out her lifestyle and how no one should strive for this. Have respect for yourself. Have plans of doing something better with yourself. Dream bigger. Do not end up like this. All you're going to do is make yourself sick, and you're going to feel like shit. Same thing with Nick. Like I said, it's okay to be indulgent. We're human beings. That's part of being human, is being indulgent. But knowing when to stop, how to have balance, and preventing yourself from becoming this is very important. You know, if it doesn't, you don't need to go to the gym every day. A lot of times, if it's a nice area like where I live, just walk. It's not going to be super, but you're going to still be able to maintain a certain weight depending on how long you walk. If you do have a membership for a gym, go to the gym 2-3 times a week. You know, there's plenty of people who eat like this. Like I've said before, Eric the Electric, Joel Hansen, Randy Santel, Matt Stoney. All of them eat like this and more, and they're thin, they're fit, they're muscular, because they have a healthy lifestyle. Nick, he doesn't. Eugenia doesn't. She needs to eat more. He needs to eat less. But again, if these videos are able to help someone, you know, not become this or this, then I feel a lot better. But anyways, yeah, just balance. That's what life is about. Balance. But that's it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.